Hey everyone, I'm Amber Kennoy with DecoArt. If you love mixed media like I do, well, keep it here. We've got some great ideas coming your way. Besides using Snow-Tex for the obvious snow, you can also use it in a lot of your mixed media projects to create texture. And you can easily use a craft stick or a palette knife to apply it to canvas, paper, or foam board, or anything else you can pretty much think of. All right, well, after applying the Snow-Tex to my cupcake, which is starting to look delicious, you can let it dry and add a little bit of topping to make it super special and a little glitter. So you can use Snow-Tex for snow, adding texture, or adding dimensional shapes by using a stencil. So I've got my stencil here and a piece of canvas, and I'm just going to take a palette knife. You could use a craft stick if you wanted to, and I'm going to apply this. I love the fact that this not only adds dimension but adds texture with the Snow-Tex. So I'm going to hold this down. I really like using the palette knife here. I just think it's a little bit easier application. I would recommend you keep your hand in place so your stencil doesn't shift if you're not using a sticky stencil. Keep applying this. This stuff is so fun. Now once this is all set and you lift it up, you could easily add the glamour dust right now while it's wet if you like a little sparkle in your life. Or you can wait till it dries, and if you want to paint it, you can easily do that and change the color of it if you don't want the white. So let's just finish this all up. Got a little bit more to go here. Ready? This stuff is so fun. All right, the big reveal. Not bad. So I used the same process that I used on the canvas as this terracotta pot. Used my stencil, applied the Snow-Tex. I waited till it dried in this case because I wanted to paint the same color. And then waited till that layer dried and added a little bit more color. You can see the green to really make it pop and add a little flair. An easy way to add lighter, more random bits of Snow-Tex is just to use a brush. So I'm going to add Snow-Tex to this all around the edges. As you can see, it would be really hard to use a palette knife in this application. That's why we are using the brush. So I'm going to continue doing this. And you can still make this like light and fluffy if you want to add a lot of texture and dimension. Continue doing this. You could always go back and add more if you wanted more dimension to this. All right, so as you can see there, I let this dry and used the same application in this example we have here of the box I did, and added the Snow-Tex to really make it look like there was snow on the fence and around the crow. Snow-Tex can also be tinted using DecoArt acrylic paints. Now, what happens when you add paint, any color, to white? Typically you're going to get a pastel, right? Well, that's exactly what's going to happen with the Snow-Tex. So here I've got 3 stacks of Snow-Tex, very similar in size. And just to give you an idea of how drastically the color can change depending upon how much you're using. We're going to just put a small amount there, medium amount, good large amount there. We're using burnt orange in the DecoArt acrylic paint here, so I'm going to mix this one up. This one isn't changing nearly as much because I used a lot more paint, but you can still see that it is getting lighter. It is becoming a pastel version of the burnt orange. Okay. Here we've got the medium amount with our Snow-Tex. It's a little lighter than this one. And this one isn't fully mixed up, so you can see actually if we continue to mix that up, it'd actually be a little bit darker. Now here's our lightest amount. Now you can drastically see the difference here about how this is really more so a white base than anything. I'm going to go back and mix this one up just a little bit. All right, you can definitely see that we've got a light, a medium, and a much darker version of the burnt orange here. So now I'm going to take my board. I'm actually going to go with the medium. And you can apply this. Now again, depending upon what application you're using, you could use a craft stick, a palette knife. If you wanted a more sporadic light feel to it, you could use a brush. But you can definitely see here how we don't have burnt orange anymore, needless to say, using the Snow-Tex. And in our example we have here, I used a stencil over here, took the burnt orange, mixed it with the Snow-Tex, and got this beautiful swirl shape. We actually used it also on the vase and used a brush to apply some sporadic amounts there. So I think it turned out pretty well. You can create large dimensional stripes using Snow-Tex by using nothing else but tape. So I'm going to tape off some stripes here. And you could do this on a photo frame, a piece of canvas, really anything you're using in a mixed media project, you could easily do this. Now I have actually tinted the Snow-Tex with our burnt orange DecoArt acrylic paint. I'm going to apply this with our palette knife. Make sure you've got your tape really secure on there. You don't want the pieces of the Snow-Tex creeping underneath. Unless you're going for that look, and then that's fine. I want a more clean line, so I made sure that the tape was on there really good. I'm going to apply this. I feel like I'm icing a cake. And now I'm hungry. Now here's a little trick that was given to me. If you're working on something, make your tape a little extra long and actually stick it down to your surface. It'll help keep that object in place for you. I have found really quickly that that really helps a lot. All right, we are almost ready. Okay, what you don't want to do is wait until this dries to try to remove your tape. You want to remove this pretty quickly. All right, got a piece there. I feel like I should be saying ta-da after every time I lift the tape. All right, there we go. So this is a perfect example of using it with the colored Snow-Tex, or here, just simple Snow-Tex, and you could wait till this dries and then apply your paint afterwards. You can create a variety of textures using a texture tool like stripes, swirls. You could purchase these, but you can also make your own by using some heavy cardboard and some decorative scissors like we have here. So I've already got a finished one there. Show you an easy way to do this. You wouldn't want to use just regular paper. You'd want to use a cardboard or some sort of like heavy plastic. All right, I've got that. We've also got our frame here that's already been taped off because we want to make some different dimensional shapes in each one. I'm going to apply the Snow-Tex here. All right, we've got our handy dandy, made it our own tool here. I'm just gonna drag that Now once this dries and you paint it, you're really going to be able to see those stripes like we have here in our example. We did the exact same process and used a texture tool, and you can see here we've got stripes, we've got some more swirls, we almost have kind of a wavy pattern here. And then you can, of course, after that dries, add any of the DecoArt acrylic paints or glamour dust and have fun. You can also apply acrylic paints over the Snow-Tex with a brush very easily. So here I'm going to make this. We used a texture tool that almost gives this Snow-Tex a feeling of almost like waves. And we're just using our turquoise color here. If you have used a texture tool, you might need to, use your brush to get down in those creases and not just stroke over it, unless you want to go for it to have that, and that's perfectly fine. But if you want it to be completely colored in, you need to utilize your brush in a few different ways. I'm going to finish this up, but you can see in our example here just how this can turn out. If you want to take your mixed media projects using Snow-Tex to the next level, try dry brushing one of the metallic paints over your Snow-Tex that's been painted. So I'm going to put a little bit here. I like using a fan brush on this too. Now, if you're not familiar with dry brushing, the reason it's called dry brushing is because you're adding your paint to your brush and then literally almost taking all of it all off. Then we're going to go over here. You should be able to see how that is really just accenting those raised pieces of the Snow-Tex where we've actually taken a texture tool and did this. Continue doing this. I love it. You can finish that up, but you can see in our examples exactly what we've done here with the waves and the turquoise and how that has really taken this to the next level.